Guys, it's becoming abundantly clear that America is broken. I've only been back in the US for 4 days from Thailand, and in that 4 day span, there was a school shooting in Denver. There was a crazy, horrific tragedy, murder on the North Carolina public transit. And then there was the assassination of a political pundit, podcaster, that literally is like, I don't even know how long the fallout's gonna go from that. So it's crazy because America is the richest country in capitalistic world history. But literally right now, it is like a Rolls-Royce Culligan with a cracked windshield and a check engine light on, and it needs an oil change. Or it's almost like a skyscraper made of steel and glass that has rats in the basement, cockroaches in the wall, and none of the USB-C outlets work. Or it's even like maybe not the most advanced, but the most powerful ship in the Starfleet, but everybody's fighting in the cockpit, and it's taking a lot of asteroid damage from the cosmos, so nobody can figure out what's going on. You guys get the picture. It is an amazing country that is not doing so well right now. Like your one cousin who got the BMW 7 Series, but like never took care of it, so it's kind of getting ratty and crummy and beat up, and nobody knows what to do because they can't get on the same page to try to fix it or take it to the car wash and get it detailed and get all the issues solved, you know? So anyway, guys, what I wanted to talk about today were 5 things that I noticed, 5 things that we could do about it. I don't know if we will be able to, because all I can do obviously is just control of my life. Like most people, obviously there's some people that have a much bigger platform than other people, but for the most part, we're just in control of our own lives, but we can notice things and think in the big picture and then apply it to our own sphere, however big that is. Some people have a sphere of 300,000. Some people have a sphere of 3 people. Some people's sphere is literally only themselves. Point number 1, guys. I think that violence is sort of burned into the American story. As much as people don't want to admit it, whether it was from the elimination of the Native Americans, to Abraham Lincoln, to JFK, to MLK, to Malcolm X, there's probably so many that I'm forgetting right now. Aaron Burr, I don't know, dueling it out. I just think that there's so much violence in American history that when we try to pretend like this isn't us, this isn't how things should be. Yeah, of course it's not how things should be. That's not civilized in 2025, but there's such a long rap sheet of evidence that that's how things get done in America. Like even sponsoring violent upheavals in other countries to replace the leadership with more pro-American leadership. By the way, I could see why America would want to do that. That's what superpowers do. Not all, but like typically, right? You try to be powerful. But I'm just saying in terms of like, we can't pretend like it wasn't always on that timing, I guess is what I'm saying. Like, let's just be real with the history and the details and, what's in the books, right? Like, because everybody can come out after what happened to Charlie Kirk and be like, man, we just need to be civil. When has it ever really been civil? There have been times that were more civil than others. And ultimately, what I think can be done about it, and like I said, I got some potential answers, but everybody's got to go for them. The whole system's got to work in unison. But like, I would say AI scans, drones. Some people are thinking about a Neuralink type thing, like Minority Report with Tom Cruise, where you can be like predictive of crimes or violence, due to like some sort of like brainstem activation. They see they're sensing the violent part of the medulla is like getting active or whatever. But I don't know. Guys, I'm just throwing that out there. Point number 2, I think that nobody is really doing the optimal thing right now. Oh, this is crazy. He's riding this. Anyway, I just think nobody is doing the optimal thing right now, whether like left, right, up, down, low, middle class, high class. And of course, if I was to grade everybody, there's definitely different grades. Like some people are doing less of the right thing than other people, but I would say for sure the middle class gets a B grade. Maybe the rich people, they get like a C grade, and I would say the lower class, I would give them also a C grade. So nobody's really doing an A-level job of like what they should be doing, really, because maybe some people at the top, they're being too greedy, they're draining the funds in the macro, and the macro is getting everybody aggy at the lower levels. But at the lower levels, we're not really handling it, we're pointing fingers, we're developing these like little bubbles or fish bowls, or like developing like demons in our own mind. Just because somebody doesn't agree with you doesn't mean they're a demon. I could see how you could demonize them within the scope of what you understand about your reality, but that's not right either. Basically, nobody's doing an A-level job. What could we do to fix the fact that everybody is like either going to escapism, just watching streamers which I don't think streamers are bad people. In a way, I think they're charismatic and sometimes they can be positive. Let me sit down on this stoop real quick. But like, I just think that streamers, they sort of really channel a lot of like, it could be anywhere from like an Xbox like gamer lobby to just like some version of like the real world, but like self-filmed, you know, like MTV's Real World. And I think it is escapism because oftentimes it is charismatic and it's fun, but I don't know if it's like gonna make people understand more about what we need to do as a society. Point number 3, I think the highs and lows in society are becoming more stark. It's like a K-shaped recovery, right? And a lot of people talked about the K-shaped recovery from COVID, but I just think there's higher highs and lower lows. Like, if you just look at society, it's almost like, yes, most of the AI companies are coming out of the US or China. AI is gonna be a huge boon for the economy, trillions of dollars invested, trillions of dollars generated. It's gonna lead us into the future. You know, like doctors, their medicine, their access to technology is only getting better, you know, but at the same time, maybe behaviors on the street are getting worse. I don't think they're as bad as they were in the 90s, but they're just getting bad compared to like 10 years ago. You know what I mean? So I just think that maybe what can be done is more stabilizing programs. I think that there should be more stabilizing programs, but it should also be stricter, the conditions that the stabilizing programs come with, right? So I think that people should get more, but they should also be kept under like more incentive to act better too. Like, cause you wanna stabilize society and make sure people have food and they have shelter and even just like the basic medicines to stay alive or feel healthy, get the androgen levels to at least a medium level. You know, you can never really control people's behaviors, but then there should be more restrictions also placed on those things. So if you commit crimes or you do the wrong things, then they could be taken away. So there's basically just needs to be more incentive to make the right decisions. Point number 4, mental health, guys. Why does America have the most mental health programs in the world, but also the most mentally unwell people in their brain? Like whether it's a pH balance or it's trauma, think about it. America's got the most talk about mental health. America, like, you know how America invented marketing, like the whole Mad Men thing and stuff like that? Like, America also invented mental health, but then why do we have so many people that are mentally ill? Is it because of bath salts or like fentanyl or whatever like that? Like, I don't know. I'm just saying, how can the country that has the most of one thing also have the most of that problem? Like, you have most of the solution, but you also have most of the problem, and the problem keeps on growing. You know what I mean? Like, is it capitalism? For example, like, I didn't really want to mention it too much because it's just so morose, but like, look at Charlie Kirk, right? So he was famous for going on college campuses and debating kids, right? And, you know, some people say that he was being a jerk in those videos, but like, I'm sure he stood by his opinions, but maybe he was playing it up a little bit of theater to get the views and make the money. But then that same thing, first of all, absolutely did not deserve anything bad to happen to him physically for that. But because he's driven by the views to do it, and then we're in this mentally unwell place, people are gonna take it the wrong way and they're gonna dumb out and crash out, which essentially, obviously who knows whatever theories are behind everything, but like, that looks like what happened, right? It was literally a college kid who was offended by his YouTube videos or appeared in his YouTube videos, and then that's what drove that kid to like commit violence, right? So I'm saying that, is it the capitalistic environment that is creating almost like these mental health issues, in the sense of like, the more you push the edge, the more money you make until it tips over the edge, and then there's a horrible reaction. By the way, never should have happened, but it just like, we gotta examine what was the math behind it, right? Like the trigger points and the thresholds and the critical mass and the tipping point. Point number 5, guys, I just think that the fragile American dream is now more similar to a workplace lottery. This is my last point, guys. So we're not talking about the lottery. The actual like Powerball and stuff, that's like 1 in 300 million. That's way too rare. I'm talking about a workplace lottery. You guys have ever been in a work pod at work where everybody contributed money and maybe somebody got a Dyson vacuum or the company sponsored getting a Dyson vacuum? And it's like 1 in 10, 1 in 20, 1 in 30, even 1 in 6. The American dream was supposed to be available for like 4 out of 6 people initially, right? And now if it's becoming like 1 out of 6 or 1 out of 10, like winning the Dyson vacuum, that's not good. That's gonna create more stress, more like pressure in the mind, more like you know, like testy, hostile people, because obviously when you show people getting a scarcity mindset, whether that's overprinting money so people feel like their money's not worth anything anymore or whatever, you know what I mean? I just think that that's how the American dream is starting to feel. And it's almost like, you know, like I said, like this guy, maybe somebody's getting rich living their American dream, but you disagree with their American dream, or you feel like their American dream, their version of getting rich, like directly took away from you or was based off your pain. Whether that's true or untrue or like justified or unjustified or in the middle zone, then that's when crazy stuff begins to happen. So I think that that's where we're at right now. Like I said, guys, everybody's fighting in the cockpit right now. And the contradiction is America is still the most advanced ship, or at least most powerful ship in the Starfleet, but it's just going through a lot of issues and nobody's making the right reads to fix the issue. People are fighting in the cockpit. Even though asteroids are coming and hitting the ship, weakening the force field, there's still enough force field. It was still a really well-built, like, starship. But it's just not in a good place. It's a rocky ride right now. You know what I mean? So I just think that America is broken. The engine light is on. The bumper's duct tape. The pilots are fighting. But nobody's willing to pull over, pop the hood, stop the fighting, and fix it. So that's where we're at right now. It's an ultra, what do you guys think would need to happen? I just think that, I don't know, maybe people would need to compromise on some of their freedoms, but I don't know if that's happening either. But then other people, like I said earlier in the video, some people would say, you know, given the parameters of how much freedom and how much weapons America has, it's not doing an F-level job, it's just like a B-. So some people are happy with a B-, but other people are striving for an A, or they remember a time where it was closer to an A. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I just wanted to brain dump, guys. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.